Good evening, Wildcats. I'm Janae Gonzalez.
And I'm Paige Jones.
And thanks for tuning in to the UATV
Halloween edition.
Okay, trying to take myself seriously here. For tonight's show, we've got a quick recap of Homecoming Week, starting with the event that kicks off the celebration every year, the annual lighting of A Mountain. Wildcast reporter Savannah Hughes watched from afar with all the other Wildcats and alumni who went to see the Big A light up.
Lighting of A Mountain kicked off U of A's Homecoming Week. This event is hosted by the U of A Alumni Association and the Student Alumni Ambassadors. Students, alumni, and the Tucson community gather for free food and entertainment provided by U of A's pep band and UA cheerleaders. Wilbur and Wilma Wildcat entertained many guests. Games, live music, and food were the highlight of this event, which has been a tradition for many U of A alumni. I spoke with ASUA's president, Matt Lubasich, about his favorite part of Homecoming Week.
My favorite part about Homecoming is Club Olympics. You see so many different clubs from all across the campus community compete to win money for their prospective club, do whatever they want to do. They get to do a lot of really fun games and a lot of exciting things like, mud tug of war. That's always a good one. It's one of the best traditions of Homecoming.
This year's 2017 Homecoming Court was announced at the kickoff, and students were excited to hear the results.
The University of Arizona kicks off Homecoming Week with the lighting of A Mountain, which brings together alumni, Tucson locals, and U of A students.
The history was really just to, they painted the A up on top of A Mountain, and then every year they want to get the paint off so they'd have to burn it off. Well, eventually it turned into a homecoming tradition in the beginning of the week of homecoming, then they'd go up there and set the flares off.
Reporting to you from the Main Gate Garage for UATV, I'm Savannah Hughes.
The annual Homecoming Bonfire took place on Friday night. Wildcast reporter Ireland Stevenson went to the event to see who was crowned king and queen and spoke to the university's president, Robert Robbins, about the importance of tradition. Take a look.
Alumni from all across the country returned to Tucson this past weekend for the U of A's 100th homecoming. The annual bonfire and king and queen crowning kicked off the exciting weekend.
For the planning of this event, it was hundreds of hours of planning going into this. Big shout out to the University of Arizona Alumni Association. Shout out to Denise Shorb, shout out to Mark Acuna, Lisa Valentine, all of them put in so many hours, as well as our Bobcats. We all have specific duties that we take care of, like homecoming parade, all that sort of stuff. All that goes into it. Really just super excited to be here. This is like one of the coolest experiences I've ever had as a student. And I feel honestly blessed to have this opportunity, especially for the association.
With tonight kicking off the festivities for homecoming weekend, the crowning of the king and queen and the bonfire remind everyone what it really means to be a Wildcat.
I'm so excited about my first homecoming at the University of Arizona. The weather's beautiful. We got a perfect atmosphere. We got all the people out by Old Main here. Great bonfire. The seniors are introduced by West Rodriguez. We're going for the fourth consecutive Pac-12 win. And what could be better? This is fantastic. So I am just so excited to be here. Hopefully one of many, many homecomings.
Reporting from Old Main for UATV, this is Ireland Stevenson.
The homecoming parade followed the next day. Wildcast reporter Ashley Agbeedy experienced the big celebration that ended the week of festivities.
The University of Arizona held its annual homecoming parade Saturday on the UA Mall. Wildcat fans cheered loud and proud for the incoming floats, and many got a feel for school spirit.
I really wanted to see what was so special about being a part of this, and it's been really amazing so far. So I'm lucky to be here, and I'm glad I got to sign up and be here with everybody else.
At the parade, spectators saw elements of different cultures and a diverse homecoming court.
Yeah, so the Bobcats came to the Black Student Union and they talked to us because they're in charge of choosing the queen. They wanted to improve some more diversity in there.
Even the class of 1967's graduating class celebrated their reunion at the parade.
I came here by way of military, United States Air Force by way of Vietnam, best move I ever made. And today is my probably 20th homecoming.
Students, faculty, alumni, and family came together, and that is why some people describe the homecoming parade to be a community gathering.
It's just like the whole, like the community getting together and celebrating this 50-year anniversary. All the alumni from like 1967 and 1987 all coming together.
It was a day full of fun and food for all before the football game against Washington State. Reporting to you from UATV, I'm Ashley Agbidi.
After the break, we've got a look at a local pumpkin patch that has lots of festivities to get you in the spirit of fall.
Plus, information on Tucson's All Souls procession that's coming up later this week.
I may have fleas, but I run a yard. I see those clones looking down on me, but unlike those clones, this dog is free. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life.
UATV 3 UATV 3 When I turn on the TV, I turn it to channel 3, cause they got all the greatest shows that I've been waiting to see. It's entertaining to me, cause it's pertaining to me and all the other Wildcats in the student body. We're broadcasting live to all the residence halls, so all y'all's in the halls, turn your TVs on to channel 3 for Sheezy, so you can see me and all the other happy people down at UATV 3.
The Ghosts of the U of A tour is being held this Wednesday at 6 p.m. The tour begins at the east side of Old Main and continues all over campus to show where some of the university's creepiest history took place, such as the haunting of Maricopa Hall and the Old Main Ghost. The tour is free for all attendees and includes a lot of walking, so be sure to wear comfortable shoes if you plan on attending.
Can barely read in these. Okay. The Many Mouths One Stomach Art Collective is hosting their 28th annual All Souls procession this weekend from Friday to Sunday. The 3-day festival is put on to honor the lives of deceased loved ones throughout the community and includes a ceremony where people watch the burning of a large urn filled with wishes and offerings for those who have passed. Admission is free and the event takes place each day from 4 to 10 p.m.
The U of A's World of Words, or WOW, is hosting a WOW Book Fiesta on campus this Saturday as a part of their Create Story Journey program. At the event, several children's books and hands-on activities will be available for children and families to use as a way to journey around the world and learn about different cultures. There will also be crafts from American Indians, the Southwest, the Caribbean, East Africa, China, Mexico, and more on display. The event is free and open to the public.
Buckaloo Farm held its 29th annual Pumpkin Festival every weekend throughout this month. Wildcast reporter Madeline Nelson explored the pumpkin patch and all the other activities the festival offered to get Tucson in the spirit of fall.
Buckaloo Farms held their 29th annual Pumpkin Festival this year. Every year, owners Lori and Nick Buckaloo host the event during the last 3 weekends of October. I spoke to Catherine Bauman, who has been a part of the event for many years.
Kids that used to come to me and play with me and paint with me that now bring their kids and their grandkids. So it's really sort of a cool thing because it's like a family affair. And I've known Lori and her husband for a long, long time. And you begin to become part of the family because I've been out here so long.
There are many events here at Buckaloo Farms, including the Haunted Corn Maze, which I'm in right now, mechanical bull riding, live music, face painting, and many more. There were also plenty of arts and crafts, paintball, and a live performance put on by Caden Brewer, a country western singer-songwriter from Tucson.
I love performing in more intimate venues. I mean, I've played some big stages before, but I like the interaction, I like to interact with the crowd.
There was, of course, pumpkin picking, where people were driven around the pumpkin patch on tractors. Reporting for UATV from Buckaloo Farms, I'm Madeline Nelson.
I'm kind of bummed. I didn't go to a pumpkin festival this year, or pumpkin patch, and usually I go, but I didn't get around to it this year.
When you're carving, do you usually go for a scary pumpkin or happy?
Kind of like a combination of both.
Like a smile with like one tooth.
Yeah, or like kind of like a creepy face, but still smiling.
Totally.
You know, that sort of vibe, you know? You don't want to be too scary on Halloween.
Exactly.
When we come back, Wildcast sports anchor Alec White has all the latest on the success of the women's soccer team in recent games.
Don't go away, you're watching UATV.
UATV3, now on Facebook.
Good evening, Wildcats, and welcome to Wildcast Sports, sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm your anchor for the night, Alec White. I've got a lot of sports to catch you up on, so you don't want to miss any of it. We'll start out at Arizona Stadium with Arizona football, which took on number 15 Washington State on Saturday night. The Wildcats had another stellar win, this time coming out with a 58-37 victory. Arizona was fueled by another dominant performance from quarterback Khalil Tate. Sports reporter Zach Lazarus breaks down Tate's performance and asks whether or not Tate should be considered to be a Heisman candidate.
Khalil Tate, yet again being one of the most athletic guys on the field tonight, continued to show us that he can do it all, having 2 passing touchdowns, 158 yards running it, and 1 rushing touchdown.
The Arizona Wildcats, sitting on 5 wins this season, look for a big win tonight as they take on the Washington State Cougars to become bowl eligible and have not been since 2015.
Tate continued to move the ball up and down the field, keeping the momentum strong all game. Here's what head coach Rich Rod and quarterback Khalil Tate had to say about his performance tonight.
Yeah, he's got a very strong arm, but he's got as good a touch on a deep ball as any quarterback I've had. And he's a tough guy. He'll take a hit, but we added a couple of new play action things in there, and White House did a good job of getting some big plays. We did some bootleg stuff, and Jamie Nunley got free a little bit, and Khalil saw it right away. That's one thing sometimes a young quarterback doesn't see the open guy, but Khalil's been seeing it pretty quickly. And Khalil, I mean, it wasn't by any means a mistake-free, but boy, he's a competitor.
Yeah, I mean, we have some great receivers, that get open. Great offensive line does a great job in blocking and giving me time to make those throws and deliver them.
The Arizona Wildcats finished strong tonight with a final score of 58-37. Reporting to you from the Arizona Stadium for UATV Sports, I'm Zach Lazarus.
As we get closer to the NCAA soccer tournament, the Wildcats women teams continue to improve, and that bodes well for their chances at hosting a tournament game. Sports reporter Jack Cooper recaps Arizona's late rally to defeat Washington on Friday.
The Huskies were in town to face Arizona as both teams only have a couple games left in the regular season.
Arizona was pressuring early and often, but the ball could not find the back of the net. Washington was able to get a ball past Laney Burdett, and the Huskies took a 1-0 lead.
The Arizona women's soccer team battled back from a 1-0 deficit and defeated Washington 2-1.
Throughout the second half, the Wildcats were able to come back, and after the game, senior Callie Chrysler talked about the comeback.
Yeah, I think there's been a pressure to get that first goal to get back in it, and then after you get the first goal, you need to continue that energy and momentum to keep going, because it's going to go into overtime if we don't get another. So I think getting the first goal and coming back from down to get it tied is big.
Reporting to you from Murphy Field at Mulcahy Stadium, I'm Jack Cooper.
Among the standouts for the women's soccer team this year is senior midfielder Gabby Stoen. Sports reporter Farah Bujala caught up with Stoen after the Washington game to talk about her season.
Number 9, Gabby Stoen has been making an impact on the U of A women's soccer program since 2014. Stoen was born in Portland, Oregon, but grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, graduating from Pinnacle High School. Stoen has earned several awards and is close to breaking 2 records here at the school. Stoen currently has the second most assists in U of A women's soccer history, along with holding the 3rd spot for number of career goals. Stoen was named Offensive Player of the Week in 2014 and 2015. Stoen was also an All-Academic Honorable Mention in 2015 and 2016.
I caught up with last year's leading scorer, senior Gabby Stoen, on what her goals are for the rest of the year.
Our goal is just to make it into the tournament, make a run in there like we've done before, and see how far we can get.
Stoen then goes on to talk about her future plans and what she'll miss most about the program.
I'm not sure about soccer yet, but academic-wise, I do want to go to nursing school and continue from there. Definitely the girls, my teammates, they've made my experience on and off the field something that I'll never forget here, and the atmosphere, the athletic program has all just been behind us with it, all of it.
This year, so far, Stoen has scored 4 goals and has had 1 assist. Reporting to you from Mulcahy Stadium for UATV Sports, I'm Farah Bojalad.
Arizona hockey returned to the TCC this weekend to take on a couple schools from the state of Oklahoma. Sports reporter Zach Lazarus takes a closer look at the Thursday night matchup between the Wildcats and number 5 ranked Central Oklahoma.
After a month of games outside of Tucson, the Arizona Wildcats have returned to the Tucson Convention Center on Thursday, hosting another top opponent.
The Arizona Wildcats, who are currently ranked at 15, look for a big win tonight as they take on the national reigning champions Central Oklahoma, who are currently ranked at number 5.
Throughout the game, the Wildcats were able to record 45 shots on goal, but according to coach Chad Berman, the Cats did not generate enough offense to get by Central Oklahoma's goaltender, citing the lack of effort on their power plays, which included 2 5-on-3 advantages.
I think power play has been a bit stale actually for a few games now. I don't think we're moving the puck quick enough. I don't think we're winning loose puck battles enough. It's an easy psychology thing to say you got the extra man and get a little complacent, and that's the time to gear it up and work harder. And I just don't think we're doing the little things, and those little things aren't adding up. So,
despite the lack of goal scoring, the Wildcats' physical presence never slowed down. Aggression from both teams tonight stirred up lots of conflict and intensity on the ice, with both teams combining for 32 penalty minutes. Central Oklahoma defeated Arizona 3-0. Reporting to you from the Tucson Convention Center for UATV Sports, I'm Zach Lazarus.
Another Arizona sport took to action this weekend as women's volleyball hosted Cal and Stanford. Sports reporter Riley Holman has a scoop on if Arizona was able to bounce back against Cal after a tough road trip last week.
Arizona volleyball starts the second half of the season in hopes of ending their 4-game losing streak at home.
Tonight, the Arizona Wildcats take on the California Golden Bears. The Arizona Wildcats are looking for their 9th overall win this season after losing to number 15 Oregon on the road.
In set 1, freshman Katie Smoot and sophomore Julia Patterson totaled with 3 kills each. Arizona dominated the Bears 25-16. In set 2, Katie Smoot again was on the leaderboard with 2 kills for the set. Freshmen Candace Denny and Paige Whipple, along with senior Jade Turner, all had a total of 2 kills as well. As a team, Arizona finished the set with 3 blocks. Arizona again dominated the Bears 25-15. The Wildcats dominated the third set offensively, totaling with 16 kills while Cal only had 9. Arizona's libero defensive specialist, Kimberly Gutierrez, a senior, led with 9 digs for the evening. Julia Patterson, a sophomore setter for the Wildcats, led the night with a total of 28 assists while setting. Coach Dave Rubio talks about his predictions about the second half of the season.
I predicted, and I still feel this way, that the second half of the season will be the best. We'll play our best volleyball. And so hopefully tonight's an indication of that.
The Arizona Wildcats handled this matchup easily, winning in 3 sets. The last time the Wildcats played the Bears this season was in Berkeley, where the Cats fell short to the Bears in 5 sets. Reporting to you from the McHale Center for UATV Sports, I'm Riley Holman.
Finally, on Sunday afternoon, volleyball hosted Stanford in the McHale Center. Sports reporter Raquel Rodriguez sees if the Wildcats could keep up the momentum from Friday night.
The Arizona Wildcats women's volleyball team played against the Pac-12 conference leader, Stanford, this Sunday. The first 2 sets, Arizona showed their inexperience while Stanford dominated by beating the Wildcats 25-15 in the first set and 25-16 in the second set. In the third set, the Wildcats bounced back by having a total of 15 kills and 3 team blocks. Tyler Spriggs from Arizona stepped up her game by having a total of 5 kills and 6 points in set 3. Although Arizona pushed through to improve their game in set 3, they ultimately lost to Stanford, who remains undefeated in the Pac-12 with a record of 12-0. Arizona looks to redeem themselves as they go on the road and play UCLA this Friday. Reporting to you from the McHale Center for UATV Sports, I'm Raquel Rodriguez.
Well, that's going to do it for Wildcast Sports this week. Our sports crew, including me, will be out in LA this weekend for the Arizona and USC football game. So be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to catch all the highlights and analysis after the game this weekend. Stay tuned. After the break, more Wildcast is next.
UATV 3 When I turn on the TV, I turn it to channel 3, cause they got all the greatest shows that I've been waiting to see. It's entertaining to me, cause it's pertaining to me and all the other Wildcats in the student body. We're broadcasting live to all the residence halls, so all y'all's in the halls, turn your TVs on to channel 3 for Sheezy, so you can see me and all the other happy people down at UATV 3.
Last week's Twitter question asked you all if you personally know any alumni that were coming to Tucson for homecoming weekend. 36% of you answered yes, while 64% said no.
That's a bummer. This week, we are changing things up a bit and ending the show with a fun clip to get everyone in the mood for Halloween tomorrow. But first, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and catch up on any shows on our YouTube page. Have a safe and fun Halloween, Wildcats. Good night.